Yo, what's up with y'all boys and girls, man? Hey, it's Jay Briggs here, continuing to cook up this NBA action, man. Y'all know we do it on the jam session. We cook up every single game, every single day. Happy Halloween, one of my favorite holidays of the year. I love the extraness of Halloween, man. But it's also a money-making Thursday. We got 4 games on the card, and y'all know the drill. We finna cook them up and try to smash it per usual. Yesterday, we did cash our top play of the day with the Washington Wizards, man. Shout out to them boys as they beat the Hawks outright at home at the crib. Fade the Hawks at all costs, man. Short, sweet, simple. Let's not overcomplicate this shit, man. We know who a lot of these teams are, and we're going to try to target those teams, at least right now early in the season until the narrative or the tide turns on some of these teams. In the grand scheme of things, though, yesterday wasn't the best jam session. Y'all know me, I always call a spade here on this show. It wasn't the best, and that's low-key 2 not great days back-to-back here on the jam session, man. We don't like that. We don't like that, and we're going to try to bounce back today. It's a smaller card today, just 4 games on the card, but we're finna cook it up and try to smash it per usual and keep the momentum rolling forward into a money-making Friday and a money-making weekend. So let's do exactly that, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate each and every one of y'all that continue to tune in and watch this video. Of course, I'm active on Instagram and Twitter all day long. And, of course, I have another top play for y'all today as we cashed the one yesterday. Just trying to keep the momentum rolling forward there. Let's do all of that, ladies and gentlemen. And without further ado, let's make some money tonight. And let's hop right into tonight's NBA action. First game of the day. We're in Memphis, where the Grizzlies are 6.5-point home dogs with the Milwaukee Bucks rolling into town. I'm not overly in love with this game. I'm not excited about putting money on either of these two teams. Let's start there. Memphis, they've now let us down in back-to-back games, and what they did yesterday was really disgusting. Losing outright, really getting dominated most of that game by a Nets team who's, in my opinion, talent-wise, not all that good. And then they were in a terrible situation on the back end of a back-to-back with travel following an overtime game. It was a terrible spot for the Nets yesterday. And Memphis let them come in there and bust them up. Memphis also looked bad the game before that because they jumped out to that huge lead on Chicago. And then all of a sudden it withered away and the Bulls won that game outright. So the Grizzlies, man, they've looked concerning in the last couple games. Same thing can really be said about Milwaukee, though. Milwaukee won their first game of the season and now has proceeded to lose 3 games straight. Yeah, I'm not liking what I'm seeing from Milwaukee either. Milwaukee is showing me them same signs and tendencies. They're going to be the exact same team from a season ago. And we already know what was up with that team. From a talent perspective, yes, they were one of the most talented teams in the NBA. But talent low-key always has you overrated and overvalued. That talent has to show up on the floor. And that talent just hasn't shown up on the floor for Milwaukee ATS-wise, like, at least in my opinion. A lot of times Milwaukee's overrated, overvalued. I know Memphis has played disgusting in the last 2 games. I also know it's a bad situation for the Grizzlies on a back end of a back-to-back. No travel, though, because they were in Memphis last night. But not a great spot for the Grizzlies. But I do think the play in this basketball game is to grab the points with Memphis. I can't, with a good conscience, lay points with Milwaukee on the road, man. This team is broken right now, and they're a fade. We look to fade overrated, overvalued teams, and Milwaukee perfectly fits that mold. Got to watch the injury report for this game, though. Got to watch the injury report. There's a lot of injuries looming over this game. I see Giannis Antetokounmpo, game-time decision. Luke Kennard, out. Marcus Smart, game-time decision. Desmond Bane, game-time decision. Low-key, watch out for John Moran. You never know what's up with that man. He may sit out in this one. So watch the injury report as the day goes on. Forced to pick this game, I would lean towards the Grizzlies. Not a game I'm overly in love with, though, but I can tell you right here, right now, laying points with Milwaukee on the road in their current form is not what I'm looking to do. Teams on back end of back-to-backs for some odd reason this season have been cashing. They've been cashing, and we might got to look at updating that system. It's just something we might got to look at here early in the NBA season, at least for right now. But first game of the day, give me Memphis plus the points at home at the crib. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling. Next game up, we're in Dallas, my hometown, where my favorite team, the Mavericks, are laying 6.5 on the Houston Rockets. Total around 225.5. Look, short, sweet, simple. Everybody already knows where I'm at in this one. I'm on my favorite team, the Dallas Mavericks. I'm going to lay the points. When I look at how these two teams matched up a season ago, Dallas won 4 of the 5 meetings. Dallas won the last one, 147, 136. The one before that, 125, 107. 121, 115, and 111, 106. The lone win for Houston was in Houston, and the final score in that one, they did blow out the Mavs 122-96. But look, again, Mavs won 4 of the 5 last year. I think the Houston Rockets pretty much brought back everybody. They're the same team from a season ago. And right now, currently, at least early in the season, a lot of young guys on that team. They got to kind of bring all that chemistry back together, that cohesiveness all back together, that same cohesiveness that they had towards the end of last season. Right now, I haven't totally been in love with what I've seen from Houston. They're 2-2 on the season. Their wins are the Spurs and the Grizzlies. You know what I mean? Their losses are the Spurs and the Hornets. You feel me? I haven't really liked what I've seen from Houston thus far this season. Dallas has been right on brand, exactly who we think they are. On the road, nice win at Minnesota. Beat up on the Jazz at home. They did lose to the Suns on the road, though. We know the Mavs not going to win every single game this season. And the first game of the season, they beat up on the Spurs. Like, the Mavs have done what we needed them to do in the grand scheme of things, and I think that's what they do tonight. That's what they did against this Rockets team a season ago. Again, I think the Mavs improved tremendously over the offseason, adding guys like Marshall, Grimes, and, of course, Klay Thompson. The Rockets, I think they just kind of stayed stagnant. So not overcomplicating this. So I'm just taking the better basketball team at home, at the crib, and I'm laying the points. Let's keep it rolling. Next game up, we're in Utah, where the Jazz are 1.5-point home favorites over the San Antonio Spurs. Total 221.5. Look, I want to take the Jazz and lay the points with them here in this one. Y'all know I've been trying to catch the falling knife with the Jazz all season long. They're 0-4, but they've had a tough schedule to start their season. They got aired out in their last one by the Kings. The Kings seem to always beat up on the Utah Jazz. They got aired out by the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors always seem to beat up on the Utah Jazz. They lost a close one to the Memphis Grizzlies first game of the season, and then they lost on the road to the defending Western Conference champions, the Dallas Mavericks. So a tough scheduling start to the season for the Jazz. This is definitely a step down in competition. This is definitely the easiest team they've played thus far this season. I want to take the Jazz here and lay the points. The reason I keep saying I want to is looming over this game is the Jazz best player, Lauri Markkanen, in his game time decision. I need Lauri Markkanen in there to feel extremely comfortable about this bet. If he doesn't play, 9 times out of 10, I'm still going to bet the Jazz. I'm just not going to feel as comfortable about it. But I do believe betting the Jazz here is the right play. And fading San Antonio on the road is where I want to be. San Antonio, in my opinion, is still overrated and overvalued. They're a bad basketball team. They're still, roster-wise, one of the worst teams in the NBA. They just have one of the most well-known, freakish athletes in the world in Victor Wembanyama, who has the overall team overrated and overvalued. The Jazz, as a collective, are the better basketball team. I'm looking for them to get their first win of the season. And at home, at the crib, where we've trusted them the last couple seasons, I trust them there tonight. I want Lauri Markkanen to play. But even if he doesn't play, the play for me, in my opinion, is still the Jazz. I just won't feel as comfortable with it as if he were in there. Last and final game of the night, we're in LA, where the Los Angeles Clippers are taking on the Phoenix Suns. Suns, 4.5-point road favorites in this thing. Look, we've already seen these two teams match up once this season. It was the first game of the season. Suns did get the win, 116-113. Clippers covered in that game. In all honesty, I wouldn't be shocked if that's exactly how this game played out as well. Forced to pick this game, I would take the Clippers plus the points, and I know it's disgusting. This is the same Clippers team who's on a back end of a back-to-back, and the same Clippers team that just lost outright at home yesterday to the Portland fucking Trailblazers. It don't even make sense, bro. How they lost to the Portland Trailblazers, a team who, in my opinion, from a talent perspective, is probably 30 of 30 in the NBA. and the Clippers lose outright at home. But just looking at how the NBA season has played out here in the first week, like we talked about earlier in the show, for some odd reason, teams on back end of back-to-backs have been hooping. And we saw the Clippers play the Suns extremely tough in the first game of the season. And I just wouldn't be shocked at all if they came out and did the exact same thing tonight, and or if they won the game outright. Low-key, such an embarrassing loss like yesterday to the Blazers. They probably do come in here, fake lock in, and win this basketball game. Man, I low-key still despise the Clippers. It's still low-key fuck the Clippers. I said I was going to retire that this season, and they got a chance to, you know what I mean, woosah, and get back on my good side with a win today or cover today. I'm going to take them one more time. They pissed me off last night, but based on how the season has played out early this season, I do believe the Clippers are the play. I do believe they have a legitimate chance to win this game outright. Just look at the spot and the situation and look at the landscape of how the NBA has gone early in the season. Give me the Clippers here in our last and final game of the night. We're back at it, man. Let's talk some props. First one I got for y'all. We're going to take Victor Wembanyama under 23.5 points. Look, I keep telling y'all I think right now the Spurs are overrated and overvalued. And really that goes hand in hand with Victor Wembanyama. I think right now he's overrated and overvalued. As the season progresses, later on in the season, yes, I definitely think we'll see him be one of the best players in the league in his second season. But right now, with these crazy expectations that a lot of people have on the Spurs early in the season, I think targeting him and fading him is really where we want to be. Under 23.5 points is what I like. Through his 3 games this season, these are his points totals. 29 in the first game, he came out balling. But since then, 14 points and 6 points. I'm not liking what I'm seeing the last couple games. And even if he does come out have a much improved game tonight, I still don't think he lights up the scoreboard. The Jazz have a lot of bigs that they can throw at him. Again, I pray Markkanen plays tonight, but they still have Collins. They still have Kessler. Still have a couple bodies to throw at Mr. Wembanyama tonight. I'm going to take Wemby under 23.5 points. Same team, same game. I'm going to take Harrison Barnes over 12.5 points. Somebody's got to score for the Spurs. You feel me? Somebody's got to score for him. Harrison Barnes, he's hit or miss. Through his 3 games this season, first game of the season he scored 11. Second game of the season he scored 2. Last game he played he scored 18. Veteran guy, glue guy, locker room guy. I think in this style game tonight he gets his shots up. For me, it's about do guys get the amount of shots to score that amount of points. And I think tonight he does. It was just a bad game for him against Houston. I think in a game like this tonight, I think we're looking for him to score like 15 points. I think is where he gets it at. So Wemby struggles, Harrison Barnes picks up the slack. It's kind of what I'm looking for here in these 2 props. Let's keep it moving. We got Kevin Durant over 26.5 points. I mean, Kevin Durant has been on another level to start this season. Let's look at his points totals to start the season. 30, 31, and 30. He's just in that mode right now. Part of the reason he's in that mode right now is he's starring in that new show on Netflix, Starting 5. Of course, we saw last season with LeBron, Anthony Edwards. We saw the first season. Well, this upcoming season, it's Kevin Durant is one of the features. So no surprise that he's come out absolutely torching the league, 30, 30, 30. And low-key tonight, again, probably another 30. So no reason for me to try to fade the easy money sniper, the Slim Reaper. Give me Kevin Durant to do what he does, and that's put the ball in the hole. I'm going to take him over 26.5 points. Dillon Brooks, over 1.5 made threes. Dillon Brooks has been Dillon Brooks to start the season. And against the Mavs, he loves to do the most and elevate his game. He loves to try to get under the skin of Luka Doncic. And that's just who he is. And I think in a game like tonight, he's going to be doing all the extraness. He's going to take some shots. And I believe he hits a couple. Looking at his season totals, 18 in his first game, 16 in his second game, 7 in the last one. The thing about him, though, is the minutes played. 31 minutes, 35 minutes, 36 minutes. He's getting the minutes played. We just need him to take 2 threes. And the way my Mavs play, we give up the 3 ball. So I think he may shoot 3 or 4 threes tonight. We just need him to make 2. Come on, Dylan Brooks. Make 2 threes for us tonight. I think he has a legitimate chance to do so. Give me Dylan Brooks over 1.5 made threes. And last but not least, final prop of the night. Same game. Other side of the floor, though. Give me P.J. Washington over 11.5 points. I think the game plan for most teams when they play the Mavs is get the ball out of the hand of Luka and Kyrie, make the other players beat us. The problem with that is I think this year my Mavs actually have role players that can and will beat you. P.J. Washington, I like what I saw from him last game. He had 17 points. He had 12 points the game before that, 5 the first game. The thing about PJ is, again, the minutes. He's going to get the minutes played. So he's played 35 minutes, 33 minutes, and 32 minutes. Swing, the ball's in his hands, couple corner threes. He's up and over 11.5 points. The tricky thing about the Mavs is it's either and this is my thought process, it's either going to be Clay or PJ on the nightly. You just got to pick which one of them is going to go off. Tonight, I think it's a PJ Washington style night. I'm going to take him over 11.5 points. So, recap quickly of all the props. Wemby under 23.5 points. I think he's overrated, overvalued right now. In his last 2 games, he's been struggling. Harrison Barnes over 12.5 points, kind of ties in with Wemby. Somebody's got to score for the Spurs. A veteran guy like Harrison Barnes. I think he puts the ball in the hole tonight against a not really defensive team in Utah. Kevin Durant over 26.5 points. He's been in that mode, 30 every game this season, starring in the new Netflix shows, trying to, just look good for the television, if you will. I think he continues to do so. Give me Kevin Durant to do what he does. Give me Dylan Brooks over 1.5 made threes. He gets the minutes played. I think he gets the looks up. It's just a matter of, does he hit 2? Hopefully he does. I think he does. Give me Dylan Brooks over 1.5 made threes. And give me P.J. Washington over 11.5 points. Luka and Kyrie are not going to torch the league every single game. I mean, they can. They definitely have the capability to do so. But it's just not going to happen. In some games, the role players are going to have to step up. And I wouldn't be surprised if this was one of those games and P.J. Washington got over 12 points. You feel me? So that's what I got for y'all tonight for props. Money Making Thursday. See y'all tomorrow. And that's going to conclude this episode of my NBA Jam session. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you that continue to tune in and watch this video. Money Making Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. Smaller card, just 4 games, but we just cooked it up, and hopefully we smash it per usual. We smashed our top play of the day yesterday with the Washington Wizards. We're going to try to do it again today, man. We're going to try to do it again today. Of course, I have a top play for y'all over at the site. Scoop that play up, man, and let's do what we do. It's been your guy, Jay Briggs. I appreciate y'all more than y'all know. Of course, y'all can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. The link for both is in the description below. See y'all tomorrow, man. Money Making Friday tomorrow. See y'all then. I'm out of here. Peace.